Mrs. Ward, and I am going to go over the number sense and modeling additional practice problems that are found on the ACT prep. So let's get started. Number one, Carmen is playing with blocks. She arranges them in stacks of blocks so each successive level of blocks has one fewer block than the level below. Such a stack with 3 levels is shown here below. Carmen wants to make such a stack with 12 levels. What should make sense that on level 3 she has 3 blocks, on level 2 she has 2 blocks. So if I'm going to continue this pattern, then on level 12 I will have 12 blocks, and on level 11 I will have 11 blocks. So I'm going to just take 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus ... all the way down to 3 plus 2 plus 1. And when I do that, I end up with an answer of 78. So she will have 78 blocks used to build that stack. Number 2. If the value of x is greater than 1, which of the following has the least value? The easiest, most efficient way is just a picking number. I would not use 1 because x is greater than 1. So let's try x is equal to 2 and substitute in. So the square root of 2, if I put that in my calculator, I get something about 1.4. If I take the square root of 2 times 2, well, that's the square root of 4, which would be 2. If I do the square root of x times x, well, that's going to be 2 times 2 as well, and that's still going to be 2. If I do 2 times the square root of 2, well, that's going to end up being 2 times that 1.4. So that's going to end up being 2.8-ish. And then the next one, that x times x, would be 2 times 2, which would be 4. So it looks like the least one is this one, so I am going to choose F. Number 3, it says, what is the least common denominator? If I were going to add these, what would my least common denominator be? So I would just factor. So I would factor 15 as 5 times 3. I would factor 12 as 2 times 2 times 3. And I would factor 8 as 2 times 2 times 2. So to find the least common denominator, I'm going to start with this 5 times 3. I need 2 more 2's. The 3 is already taken care of. I look over here and I need 1 more 2. So when I multiply those all together, I end up with the least common denominator of 120. Okay, number 4, it says if x is greater than the absolute value of y, for which of the following is a solution statement, and they tell me that y is equal to -4. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute in -4 for y. So I'm going to say x is greater than the absolute value of -4. So x is greater than 4. So the correct choice is choice B, G. I forgot I had those extra letters there. All right, looking at number 5. A television screen sizes are diagonal length of the rectangular screen. Hector recently changed from watching television with a 13-inch screen to a television with a 19-inch screen. If a boxcar appeared to be 8 inches long on the 13-inch screen, so I'm going to say the boxcar, I'm going to set up a ratio, is 8 inches. The screen size when it's 8 inches is 13 inches. How long to the nearest inch will it appear on the 19th? So this is, I'm looking for how long the boxcar will be on a 19-inch screen. If I cross multiply, I'm going to have 13x is equal to 8 times 19. When I do that, I get 11.7, and they want to the nearest inch, so that's going to be approximately 12 inches. So the correct choice is the letter G. Number 6, in what order should the following fractions be listed to be arranged them in increasing size? The best way to do that would be to change each one of them to a decimal. So this one ends up being 1.67. This one ends up being 1.75. 6/5 is 1.2. And 9/8 is 1.125. So if I want to do the increasing order, I'm going to start with 9/8, 6/5, 5/3, and 7/4, and that is choice A. Number 7, if A over 30 plus B over 105 is equal to 7A plus 2B over X, and X are integers greater than 1, what must X equal? Well, I'm actually going to use this to help me solve this. If I have A over 30, and in my answer I end up with 7A, so it looks like I had to multiply this A by 7. If I multiply A by 7, I'd have to multiply my denominator by 7. If I look at the other fraction, I have B over 105. And if I look at my denominator there, I had a denominator, my numerator of 2, so I multiply B by 2, which means I multiply my denominator by 2. If I take 7 times 30, I get 210. 105 times 2, and I get 210, which means X must be equal to 210. Number 8, what is the value of log base 2 of 8? You can either put this directly into your calculator. Remember, you will not be impressed to test. That would probably be the most efficient way. Or you can remember that this actually means 2 raised to what power is equal to 8. Either way, you're going to get the choice A for the number 3. Number 9, which of the following lists all the positive factors of 8? So they want me to list, so they want me to say like 1 times 8, 2 times 4, 3 won't go in, I end up back with 4. So all my positive factors of 8 are going to be the 1, 2, 4, and 8. So the correct choice for that is the letter E. Number 10, Ms. Lewis plans to drive 900 miles to her vacation destination, driving an average of 50 miles per hour. How many miles per hour faster must she average while driving to reduce her total driving time by 3 hours? Well, first of all, I'm going to find out how long it takes her to drive. So I'm going to take these 900 miles and I'm going to divide it by the 50 miles per hour. When I divide 900 by 50, I end up with 18, and this would be miles. And then taking the reciprocal of miles per hour, this would be hours per mile. The units of miles will simplify, and it's going to take her 18 hours. So if I want to reduce this time by 3 hours, I'm going to take 18 minus 3 and get 15. So I'm going to take the 900 miles that I'm driving and divide it by 15 to find 15 hours to find out how fast I'm going to have to drive. And that ends up being 15 hours, and that ends up being 60 miles per hour. So the question's actually asking how much faster must she drive? Well, if she was going 50 miles per hour before and now she's going 60 miles an hour, she has to go 10 miles per hour faster. 11, the table below shows the price of different quantities of standard sized lemons at Joe's fruit stand. What is the least amount of money needed to purchase exactly 20 standard sized lemons if the bags must be sold intact and there is no surcharge for lemons, no tax? So I need 20, so I can buy one bag of 12, and that'll give me 12, one bag, that'll give me 12 of them, and that'll be $2.10. Then I can buy one bag of 6. Now I have 18, and that's $1.20. And then to get, so that's 18. I need 2 more individuals, and those are going to be 30 cents each. So that's going to be 2 times 30, or 60 cents. When I add those all up together, I get $3.90, which is choice B. Tom's long distance service charges $10 per minute from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on weekdays, all day on Saturdays, and all day on holidays. 5 cents per minute on Sundays, and 25 cents per minute at all other times. The table below gives his long distance calls for 1 week, including the date and day of each call, the time it was placed, and the number of minutes it lasted. So here's the chart. What did Tom's long distance service charge him for the calls on the table? So if I look at this, Tuesday at 5 p.m., That's going to be the 25 cents. So he's charged 8 for 8 minutes at 25 cents. On Wednesday, 10:30 a.m., he's also going to be charged at 25 cents. On Thursday, the holiday, he has 15 minutes, but on a holiday, he's only going to pay 10 cents. Saturday, he pays 10 cents. And this Sunday, he only pays 5 cents. When I multiply those all and add them up, I end up with a long distance charge of $8.80, which is choice J. Number 13, they want you to tell us what this is equal to. Well, 7 minus 3 would be the absolute value of 4, which is 4. Minus 3 minus 7 would be negative 4, but the absolute value of that will also be 4. So 4 minus 4 is 0, and the correct choice is the letter D. Number 14, 2 hoses are used to fill a pool. Twice as many gallons of water per minute flow through one of the hoses as through the other. Both hoses have been on for 12 hours and had filled the pool to the 4-foot mark when the hose with the faster flow stopped working. The hose with the slower flow then finished filling the pool to the 5-foot mark. Which of the following graphs shows the relationship between the time spent filling the pool and the height of the water? Well, when you're looking at this, since you have 2 hoses working together, first of all, the pool's empty when I start. So if the pool's empty, this one and this one don't make sense because it starts with a water level that's not 0. Then I want to fill up the pool faster at the beginning because I have 2 hoses working, and then I'm eventually going to slow down. So choice E is the only one that makes sense because this one has a steeper slope here, and then when the one hose quits working, then my slope sort of levels out. This one would be if I had the same amount of hoses working all the time. And this one would be if I had the slower rate and then a second hose picked in. So the only choice that is correct is the choice E. Vehicle A averages 14 miles per gallon and vehicle B averaged 36 miles per gallon of gasoline. At these rates, how many more gallons of gasoline does vehicle A need than vehicle B to make the 1,008 mile trip? So I'm going to take 1,008 and divide it by 14, and this is for vehicle A. And I end up with 72 miles. This is miles per gallon. So then this will be gallon per miles. And then the units of miles will simplify, but I don't know that you're going to worry about that on the ACT. And you get 72 gallons. Vehicle B, you're still going to take that 1,008, and now you're getting 36 miles to the gallon. So you divide, and you end up with 28 gallons. And it wants to know how many more, so you're going to take 72 minus 28, and you end up with 44 gallons. So you're going to use 44 more gallons of gas driving vehicle A than vehicle B. And finally, the last one, 16. Janelle cut a board 30 feet long into 2 pieces. The ratio of the length of the board, so here's my board. She cuts in a ratio of 2 to 3. What is the length to the nearest foot? Well, this whole board is 30 feet long. If it's a ratio, I can put in X here and here. So 2X plus 3X is equal to 30. When I solve, I end up getting X to equal 6, which means this will be 12 and this will be 18. What is the length to the nearest foot of the shorter piece? So they're looking for the 12. Notice how the 18's there, so be careful that you don't fall for that trap. All right, so that's the additional practice for modeling in number sense. I hope this helps, and I will see you later.